All right, folks, Nev here from One Deal Away, and I am just continuing my education component for the folks who are teachers, professors, as well as small and large businesses who are maybe looking for different ways of how they can get into this whole online business, teaching stuff online. And maybe you've never done this before and you're wondering, like, how do I do this stuff? So I've already done one video where I have basically used my phone to record sort of this whole face to face. Now I have switched over to my computer, which you can't see, but let me see if I can cheat a little bit. Hold on. Let's see how this is going to work. We're playing along, right? Like, I don't know what's happening. Uh, but let's see if you can do this, if you can see this. So, oh, look at this, camera and camera. All right. So now you can hopefully, let's see, maybe not. You got to play with the lights and stuff, but you can hopefully see kind of what's happening, what's transpiring over here. So you can see I have my laptop right in front of me, and I'm basically trying to look at a camera. So the key component is you're going to look up here. That's where my camera is, as opposed to down here where my face is. Okay. And so I'm going to be sharing with you some of the tools and techniques that I use for going online because, for many of us, this is a brand new thing. We're all figuring out the new normal and how this is going to work. And it might not last forever, but it might last for a little while. So you will see that I have actually a lot of light coming this way. That's because there's a window right here. So I do have some shades that I can kind of play around and maybe eliminate. There's also a light source coming from right here. So I have an actually very, very bright light that, I too have to kind of play around with it. So you're going to have to play with lighting a little bit to have an understanding of like how do you set it up. And you can probably see a giant light over there. That's because when I'm shooting and recording, that's kind of what I have. I also have this black curtain that I sometimes will block off this whole area and then shoot towards the black background when I am teaching sort of face to face. We kind of on an online module, we call this what I'm doing right now face to face. And there might be a different name for it, but that's kind of what I am calling it right now. So that's one modality. I am going to stop this particular video and then I'm actually going to start recording my screen so that you can start seeing what's happening. Fair? And then video will continue. I'm just going to basically switch cameras, so to speak. All right, so I am not recording on the camera of the computer. As you can see, it's off. I can turn it on if I wanted to right here. But what I am using right now is called Movavi. Let me share it with you so you can kind of see it. So this is Movavi Video Suite 17. And the cool part about Movavi is that you can edit video or record computer screen, which is what I am using right now. I'm actually recording a computer screen because I want to be able to share with you kind of what I'm doing. The second thing that you can do is I have Zoom as well. And so what you can do is you can start new meeting and let's see if this is going to work because now I'm really taxing my computer. All right, I'm gonna cannot start video. Okay, I have too much going on, but you can see that I've opened my Zoom and when I can expand it and right now I can't start a camera. I think it's just a little bit too much for the computer. Okay, yep, too much for the computer. That's okay. But right here, you have a button called share. And if I click on that, I can share my screen or I can share a particular application that I have open. Sometimes I might just go to my camera right here. You can see me kind of talking. Hi, waving. Um, this I'm going to share with you later. This is the video suite that I was showing you. And then this is if I share screen and I will click share, you will see that now we are right back onto what I was doing and I can minimize everything and kind of show you what my desktop is. You can hear me, but you can't see me because, well, there was no camera going on. Okay, so I'm going to stop this share. Hold on. Stop share. There you go. And now you get to see my face staring at you. I'm actually going to exit this stuff and I'm going to end meeting for all. Sure, experience was just fine. It's hopefully it was just fine. But, that's kind of what ends up happening with this stuff. And I'm going to be using Zoom to share with you of kind of how I use Zoom to present and do that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to show you a little bit behind the scenes of different things that I am using and kind of how all of that stuff works. All right. So what I want to do right now in this particular video is I'm going to share with you a Movavi suite editing. This is actually a video that I am creating for my audience because what I do is I am teaching folks about investing in money, and so I'm doing a brand new video that talks about what this whole concept of what's happening in the markets and kind of how to think about it. So I'm not necessarily going to go into the full video of what this is, but I'm going to share with you sort of what I have done. So I'm going to share. So right over here, you can actually see this is right here is what the whole screen was. When I was shooting, it was kind of capturing some stuff outside of what was happening as well. So what I'll do is I'll click on this stuff, right? And I'll minimize it, sorry about that, all the way down to basically what I want the audience to see. Then I can click apply. So you use crop and rotate for that, okay? Then I can go down here, I can maximize this to be able to kind of see what's happening. You will see this is a sound down here. This is the video, and we can press play just to kind of see how this works. All right, so I might want to fix a little bit of audio here, okay? And I can do that by clicking on audio. Then I can go in, if there's a lot of noise, I can remove noise. There's no lot of noise, but I could probably fix an equalizer a little bit, and I like to say voice enhancements. All right, so let's hear it now. All right, so this is with it. This is without it. And it might not sound like there's a lot of difference to you, but what I can also do is I can also maximize the volume. So maybe I'll put it at 150 so that it can actually be a little bit louder. Let's hear it. Okay, so that's kind of how you can do this. Is a very basic component, so I don't want you to start thinking that you have to get really crazy, although you can. There's all kinds of cool things that you can do. So basically you will come in, you will click on this and add media files. Media files can be anything from video to music to photos, and you can really kind of play around with this component. So this is one of the tools that I will use for video editing. You can, of course, like put in some effects, right? So I can put in this, you kind of get to see what it looks like, right? And if I just drag it down here, hold on. Okay, you can see kind of how that happened. You see how it looks very different. Now, hold on. All right, I'm just gonna click back on the video and undo because I don't want to do that necessarily to my video. I don't want to put any blurs or any of that stuff. So undo, redo, you can go in and put transitions. So if I click over here and I cut the video, I can put in a transition by just drag and dropping. And now you can actually see that. Watch it out. All right, maybe that one didn't do quite as well. Let's try a different one. Hold on. If I double click it, I can actually change the how long it lasts, right? Or I can just cancel. I can just delete it. So hold on. Maybe by clicking undo. Maybe I just need to undo a lot of things over here. I've done a lot of things to it. So, all right, this was just the trimming and the trimming. As you can see, I can come to the end of the video. I can just trim it right here. Click on that. When it's highlighted, you can just delete it. And that's that. It sort of ends the video. So hopefully this is helpful to you of kind of how do you manage some of this stuff. Really, at the end of the day, let me switch back so you can kind of see me so you're not bored to your mind. But really, at the end of the day, you don't have to get super crazy with it. For most of us, what we want to do is when we start the camera, you are going to let it give it a pause, sort of like count like 1, 2, 3, and then start talking, just to give the camera time so it doesn't cut it. And so your video starts with name is, and you're like, So give it a little bit of pause, start recording, and when you're done, as they call it, freeze, as in pause. Don't just cut it right there because I know you want to do it. So don't just cut it. Pause, give it a second, and then shut it off, because what that does is when you're recording it, let me share it back on the editing. So I'm gonna undo the editing piece. All right. So right here at the end, let's go all the way to the end. You will see, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, let's go back all the way to the end. Come on, computer, work with me. Okay, so you see right here at the end, there's really no sound because what I did, I'm just going to show you what happens. All right. Okay, as you can see, I was interrupted with an emergency phone call. I didn't know it was an emergency phone call, but it ended up being an emergency phone call. So what I can do is I can come right here. I can scissor, meaning cut, take this, press delete, or you can also press delete button here and it will take it away. So it kind of pauses it right there. So that's the recommendation of give it a pause at the beginning, then do your recording, then give it a pause at the end. So with me doing this, give it a pause at the end, and then I'm quiet and I kind of freeze. I give myself time and space to allow for that editing so that I can cut the end of it so that it kind of naturally ends. And you can naturally end however you naturally end your class, your course. It could be bye, see you all on Tuesday, or whatever it is that you end up doing. So that's sort of what ends up happening here. But I wanted to share some of the stuff with you so you kind of get a little bit behind the scenes. I'll be very honest with you, I feel very awkward doing this stuff, but I'm truly doing this because I just want to help you in any way that I possibly can. I'm not an expert in how to do this stuff. I'm not an expert in anything. Like, I'm figuring things out myself. But I feel like I at least have a few months, maybe about a year ahead of you. So I want to give you some of the tools that if you decide, I'm going to really have fun and edit this stuff, that you can do that easily. I'm going to be sharing a next video of when I go into Zoom and how do I do presentations. So next video that we end up doing is not going to be maybe behind the scenes as much. Sorry about that. It's not going to be behind the scenes as much. It's really going to be more of the presenting live. Kind of how does that work? Fair? All right. I hope this is helpful. Give me thumbs up. Let me know if this is working. Let me know what questions you have. Feel free to give me comments. I really want to serve you and help you because I know this can be very challenging for many people out there. And all I want to do is help and support you in any way that I possibly can. All right. So we'll do a few more of these and I'll try to push these out as quickly as humanly possible so that you have the tools when the classes resume come Monday or next week. I don't know, you might be on a spring break, that you have some stuff that you feel like, okay, like I don't know 100% what I'm doing, but I feel a little bit more comfortable because I kind of watch some of these behind the scenes. All right. So this helpful, let me know. If it's not helpful, let me know. If you have specific things that you want to learn or kind of how things work, let me know that as well. And I'll do my best to help you and support you in every possible way that I can. All right. Bye now. Remember, freeze and then cut. Okay. Seriously, cutting it out. Bye.